Hey y'all, I'm Kori Ashton, and this is another WordPress Wednesday. On this episode, I will show you how to create a Linktree type page on your WordPress website. Really, you don't need to have a Linktree account, but if you're interested on it, I have an entire other video that I made a few weeks ago. I'll put that link in the description box below or even right up here so you can get to it, and it'll walk you through how to create a totally free Linktree account. But this tutorial is going to teach you how to do that on your WordPress website and why it might be a better option for you. Hey y'all, my name is Kori Ashton, and this tutorial is brought to you by LearnDash. When you're ready to get your courses on your WordPress website, please be sure to check out LearnDash. I'll put a link to them in the description box below. You'll be able to add subscriptions to your website, memberships, or even sell just a single course. It's a very powerful plugin. All right, let's get to the tutorial so I can show you how to build out a WordPress version of Linktree directly on your website. And for now, I'll tell you that it might actually be a better practice for you considering SEO. If you're sending traffic to anyone's website, it would be best to send that traffic directly to your website. But the power of Linktree is that it's very simple. It's clean. There are only select links, and you go to those links and you change them out and you kind of update them, right? It's the power of simplicity, especially coming off of social media. So how can you get that very simple look just on your website? All right, you've stayed here long enough. Let's get to it. If y'all remember a few weeks ago when I was teaching on Linktree here in that other video that I shared with you, this was the kind of end result of what I came up with. And again, what's so cool about this is that it's just really a stripped down version. Very, very simple, very clean. And on a mobile device especially, this is a really cool resource for people to get to things really quickly and easily and not miss any direct links that you want them to navigate toward. So doing this on your own website could really be a cool asset to have. And of course, you can still have a tiny URL that you have linked out in your social media. So when I go to my social media, you see here on my Instagram account that I've got my Linktree, / Kori Ashton there. So you could come up with your own bit.ly, small URL if you wanted to, and use that instead on your main website. So let's dive into your dashboard. Any page builder would probably get this done for you. I'm going to go ahead and just publish a very empty page right now, okay? So all I've done is click Add New Page, and I've published it. I'm going to show you what that looks like on the front side right now. So this is my standard template for all my pages. It's got my regular header with all the navigation, this right sidebar that's got a lot of options on it, and just the title of the page. So this is not at all what I want it to look like. I want it to ultimately be this simple with buttons down the page. So again, with a page builder, you can probably get away with building this pretty quickly and easily. I'm going to go ahead and build this out right now with the Divi builder, but for those of you using the Elementor page builder, this would be very, very comparable to what you're going to do with that one. Any other page builder like Gutenberg or Beaver Builder or any of the other ones out there, again, kind of comparable to what I'm about to do. For those of you who are not using a page builder, I'm going to show you a method toward the end, and you might be able to look in the description box below and see if you can find the link to jump ahead to that part of this tutorial if you're not using a page builder. So, all right, this is going to be a lengthy tutorial, but stick around with me. Let's do it the Divi way. I'm going to go in and click Enable Visual Builder, and I'm going to go ahead and choose Build from Scratch. We're going to go full width here, and we're going to go ahead and do an image first. You might be thinking, but already, Kori, you've got that header up there. I'll remove that here in a second, but I'm going to look for my own headshot and see if I can drop that in there. All right, I'll just let's use that one for now. And I'm going to use a small version of it, 150 by 150, and say OK. I'm going to go in and align it to the dead center, right? Everything we want is trying to put this right down the middle here. I'm going to try to make it round. I'm going to try to get this as close to the version as possible of the Linktree version. So I put it 300, kind of rounds out my image there. All right, so there's my center picture. Going back over here, you see my little center picture. We've got this orange background color here going on, and now I'm going to just do the color picker here and grab that orange color. Linktree has a little bit of movement and animation back here that you can see, and that's a really cool little feature, but I don't have to have that. I'm going to go into my section here, and I'm going to add the background color of my orange. So there's my nice orange. All right. And then my next thing I'm going to do, looking at my Linktree example, I've got a little bit of text here, Ask Kori. Check back, let's drop in some text. I'm just going to copy that to my clipboard, come over here, add in a text, and we're going to just drop that in there. I'm going to go into text mode just so it's nice and clean. Again, we're going to go into the design, go to text mode. We're going to change that text to white, right? And then we've got to bring it to the center. So we're going to go down and text alignment to the middle. There you go. Nice. Going back to the content side of things, I think I'm going to bold Ask Kori just a little bit more so to kind of have it, can't really tell the difference, but I just did. I bolded it. There you go. All right, going back to the Linktree example, our first button here is an Ask a Question. This feature actually opens up a really cool form, which I think is just a very slick feature that Linktree will give you. For now, what I'm going to do is just have a button that says Ask a Question, and then it's going to actually move them to my contact page. So let's jump back into our dashboard. I'm going to add another module, which is going to be a button module. And we're going to say Ask a Question. Oops, back here, Ask a Question, right? Link, and it's going to jump over to my contact page. And let's design out what that button's going to look like. So go to the Design tab, Alignment Center, and then we're going to skip to Button, and we're going to use Custom Styles for Button. Now I want to use my navy color that is in my theme. So the button size, that's probably okay. Background of we're going to do white on the button color for the text, but the background itself is going to be that nice navy. I'm not going to have a border on it, so we're going to take that off. And then we want to have a border radius on it to kind of round out those buttons. But notice how little that is. I mean, really, that's kind of like scrawny. On a cell phone, it might not be as, obvious that it's so little. As a matter of fact, we can go down into cell phone mode right now, and you can kind of see it like that. Not bad. We might even want a little bit of padding in here, right? Let's throw in a little bit of spacing here so we have some top spacing in there to kind of break out that, there you go, give that a little bit of breathing room there, and I'm going to join that in. Yeah, there you go. That looks a little bit better. But I really want this button to kind of be full width, so I'm going to go into that, go into the design, and on the spacing, I just kind of want to make it go big. If we wanted to, we can go into the custom CSS, and on the main element here, we're going to say min width 100%. And see that expand out? And what you just wrote right there, by the way, is called CSS. What? Look at y'all go. All right, we're going to try that again. You're going to do min for minimum, dash, no spaces, width, colon, 100%. And it's going to stretch that button the full width. And then I'm going to go ahead and click checkbox. If I go back to my desktop mode, check that out. Look at that. It's going full width of my row container here, by the way, also. So that's kind of cool. So if you wanted that to look a little bit less ginormous on desktop, you can go in here on the sizing of our row and say max width 500 pixels if you wanted to, or something along those lines. Or maybe you could do, let's do 800, just to kind of keep it nice and big in this space. So going over to our Linktree, it's looking pretty comparable. It's got a nice hover effect to these buttons, so we could probably add that as well inside of Divi. We know how to do that with a little bit of a hover effect. The hover design that I put on them was a clear background whenever you hover. So remember, if you go into the design mode of your button, you can literally hover over where it says button background, and it's got a little arrow icon. When you click on that, that gives you the hover option here, and you can set that to be a different color. And notice it looks like it goes completely empty there. Well, on my Linktree example, it has that navy kind of outline, that border, probably 1 or 2 pixel border around the button, which is really nice. So let's add that in there. We're going to say the background goes to transparent, but when we hover over, right, we're going to choose hover option over the border width. When we hover over it, we're going to go to 2 pixels, and we're going to say when you hover over, the border color becomes navy. And now that button should appear correctly here. Let's go into clear and say check, and I'm going to save. And right now I'm going to actually exit out of the builder so we can test that hover a little bit more easily and be certain that that looks okay. So I'm going to come up to the top and click exit visual builder, hover, and there it is. All right, I like that. That looks pretty great. So I've achieved my design style, and now I need to just kind of build out the different buttons down the page. I've got another bit of text that kind of breaks out here and says, ask Kori your WordPress questions. I can come in here and re-enable my visual builder. And we're going to just duplicate this text section, drag it down below that one button, change out that text to reflect my other example. There you go. And click OK. And then I'm just going to duplicate this button, drag it down below my text section. And looking again at my link tree, this says watch Kori's latest video. Of course, this little icon over here, this little arrow down, shows them that there's something inside of it. That's that little drawer that happens, which is, again, really, really cool feature. I mean, I dig that very much. But without having that full capability inside of WordPress, I mean, we do have accordions, right? We really do. We have accordions. It just gets a little tricky when you want to put a module inside of a module, which you can do. But this is kind of the cheater way of doing this, I guess, if you will. Watch Kori's latest video, right? And then the link here on this button then moves to your YouTube link or wherever you want it to go, maybe a latest blog article, and you can send them to your blog article. That'd be pretty cool, right? So now all you're going to do is just build out these buttons down the page. And so this one is my toolbox, and I'm going to grab that, drop that in here. If we really wanted to get super, super close to the style, I could take more time and build out these buttons in using a blurb module inside of Divi so that you actually have that icon that's living there as well. So you've got options. You just kind of have to get creative with how you can do this. But I'll show you this, and you know, I mean, I could do more. You can add in, of course, your social media icons as well, right? Depends on, again, what page builder you're using, but it should have some sort of a social media module that you can easily add in, you know, some of your links. So now there are those ghost buttons, but again, we need them in the center, right? I like maybe a little bit of distance from the top, a little bit of space in there. 30 pixels, kind of move those down a bit. That's not enough. Let's give it 100 just to kind of move it away from those buttons. All right, so there's kind of our very fast version of a link tree. But again, it's got my footer on it still, and it's got my header navigation on it, which we do not want. So inside of Divi, we're able to go in and actually remove the header and the footer using our Divi theme builder. So remembering the name of this page, which was WP Linktree, we're going to go back into our dashboard. We're going to go to our theme builder, right? Go into our theme builder. And we're going to add a new template here. Add a new template. Click add. We're going to assign it to a very specific page. Typically, your most recent page that you've published lives right here, or you can do a search for your pages. But I'm going to click on my WP Linktree. That's the page I want this assigned to. and we're going to click Create Template. Now, we don't want a header and we don't want a footer on it. So the important thing to do there is to turn these off, and we should be able to click Save Changes now. And go back to our page, and there you go. Yeah, see, no header, no footer, beautiful. And of course, on a cell phone shrunk down, that's going to look beautifully stacked up in there. You can play around with the spacing, make it look really nice. And now the last step to this really that makes Linktree pretty powerful is those small, short, memorable URLs. So my kind of hack for that would be, there's bit.ly that you can use to generate a short URL. There is tinyurl.com that you can use to make a small little URL if you wanted to. There's also a way to do this inside of WordPress though. You can go back into your actual page itself, edit the page, and as long as you've not published this anywhere, right, this isn't out there in the wild somewhere, you can go right here to your regular URL, askkori.com/, and you can edit this down to whatever you want it to be. And it could say Linktree if you wanted to, or you can just say links if you wanted to, right? Something little, something short like that. Whatever you make that to be, if you click update, that's now the link to this page. You can take that and put that out there in the wild, and it's memorable, especially if your root domain name is short. askkori.com/links. And now this could be my little link tree out there in the wild. All right, let me show you one other tool that you might need for those of you who are not using Divi. Maybe you're using a different theme out there. Let me show you another tool to help you get to a page that looks like this. I think that's one of the hardest things is how do you get rid of your header and your footer? And you can kind of build out the rest of this yourself, but how do you make a page with no header, no footer? So this is the plugin that you'll want to use if you're not using a page builder right now. This allows you to have a completely blank page, and then you can use the classic editor and the blocks to actually build out a very comparable version of your Linktree page on your WordPress website. So, this blank slate plugin hasn't been updated in a while, and normally I tell you to be wary of that, but this is a very, very straightforward plugin that gives you a very simple solution. As soon as you activate it, going into your pages, you have the ability now to choose a template called blank slate. And when you choose that, your header and your footer are completely gone. Your sidebars, everything are completely gone. And you truly have a blank page on your website that you can build anything you want to on it using the default editor, the default block editor. So going back over to our WordPress website, let's go into our dashboard, go to our pages, and we're going to say Add New. Now I've gone ahead and named this WordPress Linktree 2 just so that we can tell the difference. But remember, from here, you're just going to start adding blocks. Using the default editor, you can just go ahead and add a new block and say we're going to add an image in here. And that's going to be our center image, right? For the sake of now, I'll just go ahead and drop that one in there, select. And of course, you want to be certain that that is aligned correctly down the page. So we want to center align it, right? And then you're just going to add the different blocks and go right down the page the same way you would have over here on your link tree. Since I've got this page now available, I need to be certain to come over here to my template area. You see this? And you need to be certain, it's probably going to say default template to begin with here. You want to open that up and choose blank slate. Doing that, click update. Doing that now, if we go preview it, you're going to see that your header and your footer are completely gone. There's nothing up here. No header, no footer. There's our single image, and I'll start to build using blocks right down the page. Hey y'all, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please click like and subscribe. Stay here with me every single Wednesday. I'm right back here helping you improve your online marketing inside the world of WordPress. For those of you interested in even more tutorials, I have over 500 videos here on my YouTube channel. So I hope they're helpful for you. If you have a question that you can't find an answer to on my channel, please give me a tweet. I'd love to hear from you. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye, everyone.